All right, today we are going to finish our 1.2 notes. So here we are, day 2 for 1.2. And today we are going to talk about degrees, but we can get more specific, even smaller units. So we are familiar with degrees and that, like, there's 180 degrees in a straight angle. But we can get even more finite. And so degrees, we write the number with the degree symbol. But we can get even smaller in that there are 60 minutes in 1 degree. So we can even get, more definite. And for the minutes, we use the number and we use just that one apostrophe, right? And then even more finite than minutes, we can do seconds. So there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. That's easy to remember because it's just like a clock, right? There's 60 seconds in a minute. And we can think 60 minutes in an hour. In this case, it's a degree. But for the seconds, we use the 2 apostrophes, or sort of like a quotation. Now, in order to go from one to another, we are going to use these conversions. So we're going to use these conversions. Let's call them conversion ratios. We're going to use ratios to go from, let's just say to convert units, right? To convert units. Because we can go, we can go from one way to the other. We can go minutes to degrees or degrees to minutes and so forth. So when we use a conversion ratio, and you've probably seen this before, like when we convert from feet to inches or things like that, but we're going to put the unit we want on the top of the ratio and the unit we want to cancel underneath. For example, we want to change 43 3/5 degrees to degrees in minutes. So we know we have 43 degrees. The question is that 3/5 degrees, we want to change that to minutes. And so let's just, we'll just do it this way. So this is degrees. So we want degrees to cancel out. And we want minutes, so that's going to go on top. And so we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 degree. So that is a conversion ratio. 60 minutes over 1 degree. It's really like 1, right? It's just like 1 because they're equal. And so we can simplify. And when we do that, that's going to be 12. And multiplying straight across, we get 36 degrees. In your calculator, you could do 3 times 60 divided by 5. But we can, why did I write degrees? Minutes. And so our final answer will be 43 degrees, 36 minutes is the same as 43 3/5 degrees. In other words, when you think about it, we want to know what's 3/5 of 60, right? Since there's 60 minutes in a degree. Now we want to change all of this to degrees. So we already have our 50 degrees, right? The question is this 45 minutes, I'm going to put it over 1. We want to go from minutes to degrees. And so let's see, there are 60 minutes in 1 degree. And if we simplify here, 15 goes into both. So 3/4, it's 3/4 degrees. So 50 and 3, I'm going to take that degree off. 50 3/4 degrees is the same as 50 degrees, 45 minutes. Now we can also add degrees, minutes, and seconds with each other, I should say. So let's write this one on top of each other, 30 degrees, 24 minutes, 15 seconds, plus 25 degrees, 38 minutes, 50 seconds. Adding these together, we add the seconds together and we get 65. Adding these together, we get 62 minutes and we get 55 degrees. Now, we have a problem because remember 60 seconds equals 1 minute. So this right here is the same as back up. That is the same as 1 minute and 5 seconds. Right? If we take 60 away, it's the same as 1 minute, 5 seconds. And so that 1 will combine here. Okay, so revision number 1 would be 55 degrees, 63 minutes, 5 seconds. Now, this is too big. Again, this is 1 degree and 3 minutes. And so now our final answer, this 1 is going to go over with that. So our final answer will be 56 degrees, 3 minutes, minutes, 5 seconds. And that will be our final answer. For our next problem, we are given it's a right angle. So if you want to, you can draw that in there. ABC is a right angle. ABD is 67 degrees, 21 minutes, 37 seconds. We want to find this right here. Well, to do that, we're going to have to subtract the 1 from 90 degrees. So we're going to have 90 degrees minus 67 degrees, 21 minutes, 37 seconds. Well, we need to borrow. First of all, we need to borrow 1 and make that 80, I keep writing the wrong thing. 89 degrees, 60 minutes. But then we need to borrow again. So instead of 60 minutes, we're going to have 59 minutes and 60 seconds. So now we can subtract. We're going to have 23 seconds, 38 minutes, and 22 degrees. So that will be equal, in other words, the measure of angle DBC is equal to 22 degrees, 38 minutes, 23 seconds. Now, we have a bonus here. The bonus is clocks. So we can measure the angles between the hands of a clock, normal clock. So we have our normal clock. No, didn't work. If you draw a circle and hold it, there we go. It will make a nice circle. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. Okay, so in a circle, there's 360 degrees total, 360. If we think about between numbers, there are 12 spaces in between the numbers, okay? And so each space is 360 divided by 12, 30 degrees. So in other words, between 12 and 1, that's 30 degrees. Between 1 and 2, that's 30 degrees, and so forth. So a question might be, given 920, how many degrees between the hour and minute hands? Well, so remember, first of all, let's draw it on here. So here's the 20. But that 9, remember, is not going to be like right smack on the line, because when it goes from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that hour hand is slowly moving from the 9 to the 10. So we want to know what is this. But we know this is 30, this is 30, this is 30, this is 30, and this is 30, right? What we don't know is this little bit right there, right? That little tiny bit right there. So we have 5 times 30, or 150 degrees so far, right? So it's 150 degrees plus what we don't know is that little bit. Now that little bit, the total little bit is 30, right? 30 degrees. And it's 20 minutes out of 60 minutes have passed. Or in other words, 1/3, right? It's a third of the way going from the 9 to the 10. And so we can still simplify here, and it looks like that little bit works out to be 10 degrees. And so the measurement between the hands there on the clock at 9:20 is 160 degrees. So for reference, it's going to be how many minutes out of the 60 minutes times 30, right? So if it's 30 degrees in between the numbers, how many minutes have passed out of 60? That's how far it will travel. It will have traveled. Let's take a look at another problem. So from the textbook, let's just take a look at a few more examples. Number 1. So 1A from the text, it says write in degrees and minutes. And they give you 61 2/3 degrees. Can you do that? Now, if you're watching the video, pause it, see if you can do it on your own. We're going to do this 2/3 degrees, minutes. 60 minutes in 1 degree. We're going to simplify. 20, so, 40 minutes. So this would be 61 degrees, 40 minutes. Number 5 from the book is we need to add together 49 degrees, 32 minutes, 55 seconds, plus 37 degrees, 27 minutes, 15 seconds. So again, if you're watching the video, pause it, see if you can do it on your own. So here, when we add, we're going to get 70 seconds, 59 minutes, 86 degrees. Now this is more than a minute. So this is 1 minute, 10 seconds. So that's going to go with that. So that'll give us 86 degrees, 60 minutes, 10 seconds. But now that is 1 degree. So our final answer is going to be 87 degrees, 10 seconds. Also, number 5 is a subtraction. 123 degrees, 15 minutes, minus 40 degrees, 26 minutes. Now, we can't subtract 26 from 15. We need to borrow 1. So that's going to be 122 degrees. but we're going to add 60 to that, right? 60 minutes is 1 degree. So this is going to turn into 122 degrees, 75 minutes minus 40 degrees, 26 minutes. So now when we subtract, we're going to get 49 minutes, 82 degrees. We'd have to borrow there. Oops, 6, 15. Finally, number 9. Number 9B. 4:30. What are the measurements between the hands at 4:30? So let's make our clock. It's always good to draw a picture. Oops. Okay, so at 4:30, that is straight on there. And this one is halfway, isn't it? That hour hand is halfway. So we have 130 degrees, right? But we need to know what that little bit is. And it's half, right? It literally is half. So we could just think, what's half of 30? 30 out of the 60. Remember, this is how many minutes have passed out of 60 total times 30. So this is going to be 1/2 or 15 degrees. So 30 degrees plus 15 degrees will be 45 degrees, and that's what that is. Now, what we really found here was this question mark, but because it was half, 15 was also the other part. Let's see. 9C is 7:20. Let's do that one. Oh, didn't do it right. This will be our last example. All right, so 7:20. 7:20. Here's the 20. This is going to be part of the way. Oops. So 30, 30, 30. This is what's in question. And so it's moved 20 out of the 60 minutes, 20 minutes out of 60 minutes times 30. And we actually did this one before. It's going to be 10 degrees. So 30 times 3, we got 3 30s plus 10, 100 degrees.